I'm going to talk about Node.js apps on mobile app stores, which is kind of new, at the moment. So my name is Oguz Bastemur. They call me Oz, which is a simpler version of my name. So the first question, actually we had this question right at the beginning, almost 2 years ago. Why the heck, why would I want to run Node on mobile? So the first thing is actually, let's start from the hardest part. Today you know Apple Watch. Apple Watch has the hardware very similar to iPhone 4S. And nowadays, you can compare the hardware performance of iPad Air or iPhone 6 to your laptop. They are very powerful. So mobile is no longer the client. It can be server also. It is powerful enough. That's the most important part. The second thing with the Node is also very important. Node is based on JavaScript. JavaScript is easy. You can literally run your JavaScript code on every single platform, literally. So why not? JavaScript is actually one of the most popular programming languages. If you say, hey, scripting language, some people may not be happy with that. Yeah, okay, it's a programming language. And the exponential growth of JavaScript ecosystem is visible. I mean, there is no anything similar close to that, and that's why today IBM, Microsoft, and all the other big companies, enterprises, are interested with Node and the JavaScript. And there is already lots of platforms and solutions that you can develop mobile applications using JavaScript, HTML, CSS. These are probably the most popular ones. Here is the question. I don't know in what level you are interested with Node, but most people knows, hey, Node is based on Google's V8. Android is also Google's, so Node's supposed to run on Android, right? This is a kind of logical assumption, maybe. Yes, actually, you could run or compile Node.js for Android, maybe 4.4, maybe 5. It's not clear because Node never, ever produced or released binaries for Android. There are some individuals who are interested with that, compiling Node for Android and other stuff. Yeah, but it wasn't official at all. And don't forget, Node.js is for server. It was never meant to be for mobile. So if your assumption was, hey, it's Google, so it should work, right? But there are some problems. For example, I don't know how many of you ever developed Android or iOS application? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and 6, maybe. Okay, that's cool. So it's a little bit different. When you develop a mobile application, for example, for Android, you have the package. Your every single file, assets, JavaScript files, HTMLs, images, inside a bundle. There is no file system. You talk to OS and ask for, hey, where is my index.js file? And OS tells you, hey, it's here. This is the inside of your index.js file, but there is no actual path to your index.js file. Imagine, if you ever developed a Node application, you need a location for that file in order to grab it and run it, right? Or at least require that file. You need the location. Hey, there is no such a thing on Android. And for iOS, there is no persistent location. Every time somebody installs your application on his/her mobile phone, the application location is totally random. So This is the first problem you are going to have if you force Node on mobile. The second problem is, hey, there is an uncatch exception, and what's going to happen? What's going to happen? The application is going to crash. The Node process is going to crash, right? Imagine your whole mobile application is crashing with that. This is not doable. I mean, I cannot imagine any mobile application crashing because of a JavaScript exception. No, it's not possible. And also, Node.js doesn't provide API, SDK, so you can embed it into your application. These are the limitations with actual Node.js. And honestly, you cannot run or compile theoretically, literally, in any way, Node.js for iOS. You cannot. Why? Because Node is built on Google's V8 engine. This is the JavaScript engine. Your actual JavaScript is functioning inside. And V8 uses JIT. JIT means just in time. So it takes your JavaScript code and turns it into an assembly, which is highly optimized, and runs the assembly code instead of the Java interpreting your JavaScript sources. So that's why V8 is very fast. But iOS or WinARM does not support JIT. There is no such a thing. So literally, you cannot run Node.js on iOS. So how did we run Node.js apps on iOS? Okay, honestly, I didn't came here to tell you, hey, we couldn't. No, we did. But how did we? We transformed the way Node.js interacts with the JavaScript engines. Honestly, Google's V8 was the biggest problem on front of us, keeping everybody from running Node apps or Node logic or anything with the Node on iOS, Xbox, or other platforms. So we changed that. We changed how Node talks to the JavaScript engine. And we put another layer. So now, JX Core, which is the fork we made on top of Node, can work with both Mozilla SpiderMonkey and Google V8 engines. You are free to choose, hey, on this platform, I believe I need an interpreter instead of JIT, because on iOS, JIT is not possible, as I told you. So I need SpiderMonkey. I have to use it. So you can. Why not JavaScript Core? Okay, how many of you know what is JavaScript Core? None? Okay, one, okay, maybe. Okay, so we all know the WebKit, right? Safari? We know Safari? Right, okay, we know Safari. Safari is the browser developed by Apple. So, for example, if you use iPhone and if you use Chrome on your iPhone, actually, it is a version of Safari. It's not Chrome. It doesn't have V8 or anything. It's the version of Safari, because Apple doesn't allow Google to put its own engine into Apple. So why not JavaScript Core? JavaScript Core is the JavaScript engine of Safari. So which is kind of the native JavaScript engine to Apple's platforms. So why we didn't use JavaScript Core instead of we use Mozilla SpiderMonkey? Because of the license. Apple made the license for JavaScript Core defined the license for JavaScript Core as LGPL, which is kind of very tricky license. If you know the core of Node.js, it doesn't matter V8, nowadays SpiderMonkey, Microsoft Chakra, they are all modified a bit in order to run with Node. If you modify anything with LGPL license, first, you need to make sure you share the code with everybody. This is not a problem. We are doing open source, it's not a problem. But the second problem, any application using JavaScript core should behave that your application behaves. It's not possible. We updated the code, right? Third, it has to be dynamically linked. That's the killer part. iOS App Store doesn't allow you to use anything with dynamic linking. It has to be static. I know it's kind of, what the heck is dynamic linking, static linking, maybe for some of you, but something not possible. We couldn't. But no worries. Mozilla SpiderMonkey, which is the JavaScript engine behind Firefox, my favorite JavaScript browser. It has really cool licensing, open. And it has the widest support for latest AS6 features. How many of you AS6? Please. Okay, many people, that's good. So, widest features. Because Mozilla is the creator of JavaScript. They define, their guys in the past, they are right now defining the ECMAScript. They are the definers, movers of ECMAScript. And proven performance. If you visit arewefastYet.com, you will see that SpiderMonkey has the fastest engine today. This is proven. And ASM.js. I don't know if anybody knows ASM.js. That's cool. It's all in the package with SpiderMonkey. Once you have SpiderMonkey, you have all of them. So we have it. It wasn't just the JavaScript engine. Okay, if you want to run Node on the mobile, it's not all about the JavaScript engine. I told you, package, mobile package. There is no path. There is no file location. There is nothing. So you need to update libuv. Libuv is the I/O part of Node.js. What was the Node.js? Node.js was JavaScript plus I/O, right? Async I/O. So libuv is handling that async I/O part. And Node is not compatible with the other mobile platform, etc. things. SDK for embedding, packaging, virtual file system, multi-instance, multi-threading. You need multiple instances. Let's say there was an unexpected exception and your application somehow wants to crash. You just crash one thread, burn it, put it into trash, and put another. This is possible with our updates today. And of course, you need mobile API in order to, for example, nowadays we are working on it. Hey, I want to turn on the Bluetooth. I want to turn off the Wi-Fi. There is no such a thing on the server. So these are also needed for mobile applications, right? Classic Node.js architecture here, which is kind of very high-level architecture, and it's a little bit changed over time, but this is the architecture. Node standard library, bindings, V8 engine, and other stuff. Probably, if you had any bit interested with the Node, you probably know all this stuff. What we did, we put an engine abstraction here. So for the upper part, it doesn't matter what engine the Node is talking to. Hey, there is a JavaScript engine. Why would I care? Do this, compile that, run that. That's all. So JX Core is 100% compatible with Node in V8 world. Although we were making this for mobile, you can run JX Core on almost every single platform, including the small boards with OpenVRT. I don't know if you know that. You can run it everywhere. And if you develop your application using regular Node, V8, etc., you can expect that application run on any platform using JX Core. Let's turn back to mobile part. You have Node, but Node doesn't have UI, right? just something like console log. Okay, I saw the script or some text. What the heck I'm going to do with that on the mobile? We don't care actually. You can use the native UI, or we developed something for you that if you were enjoying or using PhoneGap or Cordova, JX Core is just a plugin. Add that plugin and start using Cordova as your as the execution place for your Node application. That's simple. Okay, we did all this stuff. We are working on this for 2 years, and who the hell is using JX Core on mobile? I know many small companies. I cannot tell a couple of the name of big companies because of some NDAs, etc. But here is one example. I have to read this sentence exactly, otherwise there are some implications. Microsoft is invested in developing the open source project Tally to enable all devices, regardless of platform or form factor, to engage in peer-to-peer data exchange and synchronization, and has partnered with Nubisa to leverage JX Core to enable this. I'm telling you, soon, very soon, you are going to hold your phone, you have some application, you don't have to click and do anything. You are going to share the information with all the other mobile phones, small devices, and everything else, computers, without doing anything special. It will just happen, peer-to-peer, everywhere. And if you use Node, if you know how to develop JX Core on mobile, for example, if you know JavaScript, so you can do it. Develop something basic, and it will run everywhere, and they will talk to each other no matter what, without requiring additional server. I'm not able to mention the upper scenario because of some signatures, but this is the plan. So all the work done, but yet nobody knows if Apple would accept JX Core to App Store. So this was very tricky, and we were kind of very afraid of, hey, what if they don't accept? Imagine 2 years of work, all the money spent on project, everything. Apple, who knows? We came up with a shopping list application, which was very basic. Also, tricky to convince Apple to accept, because maybe at least 20 different, 40 different shopping list application today is already available. This is not something special. Apple might say, hey, I have already 40, 50 different shopping list application on my app store. Why the heck I should accept yours? So we add some feature, one feature which was unique, and we used JX Core, in other words, not for that feature. So this application is reachable over Wi-Fi. So there is a Node HTTP server there, which is broadcasting the whole application over Wi-Fi. If you have any device with the browser, that phone and application now broadcasting itself over Wi-Fi, which was unique for a shopping list. Probably nobody bothered themselves implementing such a feature to any shopping list application. So we just wanted to prove that, hey, mobile phones are no longer the clients. Not anymore. The features we used, Node.js features we used in order to develop this application, FS, PAD, crypto, HTTP, and other stuff unique to JX Core. First Node.js application powered by JX Core accepted the App Store in 5 days, 5 business days. If you ever submitted an application to App Store, Apple App Store, 5 days means, literally means, hey, this is good, accept it. Straight. We were happy because of that. So what's next for us? This is kind of an advertisement point, but hey, this is an open source project. So 2 minutes for advertisement. What is next we are planning to do? We want to extend JX Core to other engines in order to run on other platforms. For example, we are working with some guys I have no chance to mention because of some signatures. We want to work Node applications, make it running on Xbox. Hey, I developed something and I have Xbox, and how? It's going to run there. That's cool. Maybe a little bit support for UI, etc. It will be fun. And of course, WinARM and maybe PS4. So Node.js is already on IoTs. I already mentioned you can run JX for applications, Node applications on, for example, recently I purchased Asus Wi-Fi router for 90 zloty from Saturn, 90 zloty. Open the box, run the script, root that router, and right now that router is able to, small Wi-Fi router, is able to run my Node applications. Yeah, okay. Any questions? Thank you for your time. I'm sweating like a crazy, sorry for that.
Well, I'm sure there are going to be plenty here.
Hello. I will say this excellent job. Very nice presentation and your work. But I have a question about the core of the Node.js. If you go into new versions, if JX Core is like the layer top of any versions of the Node, because about the merging Node.js and IO.js.
There is no. I'm also working with the Node.js, some Node.js groups, touching them and contributing to Node.js. If you saw my name, probably you saw my name on release logs of Node.js. There is no such a thing because this is not for server. We realize that and we discussed that with many people in Node community. So there will be a difference, but in order to keep JX Core in sync with Node for the future versions, we are developing, for example, the common API. So it doesn't matter if you are using JX Core, IO.js, Node.js, doesn't matter. Your application is going to run. So we are working on the common API on top of Node. So it's not going to be a problem for JX Core, for Node, or for other things. Hope I can answer your question. Thank you.
Hi, I'd like to say that your presentation was very nice.
Thank you very much.
I have a question about the biggest issue of Node.js, then that is performance on CPU-intensive tasks. Like, you know, because JavaScript is single-threaded.
Yeah.
And how does it affect the mobile applications when, you know, you have some really CPU-intensive task that your application must do, and you block the event loop in Node.js?
That's a very good question. Thank you very much for that. JX Core is multi-threaded, friends. JX Core is multi-threaded. Multi-threaded JavaScript instances.
It's like multi-threaded in a Node.js cluster way, or multi-threaded
in under one process.
Yeah.
One process. You can run as many JavaScript instances as you want. This is not available in Node. We call it JX Core tasks.
Yeah, so
you run the task, it's run totally on separated thread.
Yeah, that's nice. So you can easily create new thread, and it isn't a copy of the main application thread like in Node.js cluster, or
no.
Yeah, it's not. It's just
this
simple
was
thread.
necessary for mobile. As I mentioned, on Node.js you have only one logical thread, one logical instance. If it crashes, your whole mobile app goes to toilet. Really, literally this happens. And we cannot have this scenario that, hey, okay, so my whole application is going to crash. No, no way. So we support multi-threading.
Yeah.
That's
Thanks.
it.
One information for the guy who asked the previous question. If you go into JX Core Cordova plugin, there is already a sample for running Express on mobile, and this is in thread, inside the thread. So you can see how it works.
All right, next question.
So can I use JX Core on, let's say, a server on a PC and use this multi-threading feature?
Yeah.
So I can develop, like, forget about mobile and use JX Core for creating a server APIs.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah. There are some
Nice.
companies, hosting companies, but small ones, using JX Core to host Node applications already. Yeah.
All right, so thanks very much, Klaus.
Thank you.